Welcome to the Earth Science Class Introduction, Goals and Guidelines for Success in Mr. Shade's Flipped Classroom. My name is Mr. Shade, and if you're here, you're probably getting information that you need to be successful in the Earth Science Flipped Classroom that you guys are taking this year. So let's talk a little bit about that. What is a flipped classroom? And what kind of things are you going to need to do in order to be successful? Well, here I have written up a document that we're going to be going over real quick with some expectations and some other things like that. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing here is that a flipped classroom is a model for learning. It's basically designed to give you guys more control over your instruction and more time to practice in class with your peers and with your teachers. So if you're the type of student that prefers to do things like watching videos at home, learning at home, this might actually be something relatively good for you. And especially if you're a student who does not like lectures in class, then you're going to love this particular style. In a flipped classroom, homework and practice is completed in the classroom with your peers and teachers. And the instruction takes place at home through videos and aids. So normally you have homework at home. You get an assignment from the teacher and you take it home and you're required to do it and then come back with the work. Well, with this one, it's a little bit different. You go home before the lesson, before the homework, and before everything else. And you're responsible for basically watching a video that I post that has links, that has information, and has everything that you need in order to be successful in class. You come in once that video is done, and we have activities in class to back it up. Instruction is done at home through the videos. The videos go through all the information that you'll need to be able to do the work, the activities, the labs, and everything else in class. These videos are mandatory for this class, and you must complete them before the class and lesson that they match up with. There will be a schedule that gives you information on which sets are due when. You can expect to receive that in class on the first few days. While doing the instructional videos at home, you'll be expected to show the evidence that you learned what you actually needed to learn. To do this, you'll need to complete a guided note set with every lesson. These note sets will be provided in class, and we'll go over what they look like. But if you're at home and you don't have access to these, you can find a link in every single video, and you're able to print these out on your own. The note sets will also be found in the Google Classroom, which we'll go over in a little bit. The note sets are split into two sides. They have a left-hand side and a right-hand side. You're responsible for completing the left-hand side of the notes with the instructional video before you come to class. And I'll give you guys kind of an idea of what that looks like, that left and right-hand side here real quick. It looks a little bit like this. This is a chapter of notes. Left-hand side, right-hand side. Left-hand side, you'll notice it has lots of things here. It's asking for definitions, it's asking for examples, it's asking for anything that we might cover in the video. The right-hand side, on the other hand, oftentimes will be something that we have to research, or we have to draw together, or we have to basically synthesize. And usually the best way to do that is as a class. So, let's talk about those notes a little bit more. The notes themselves need to be completed with the instructional video before you come to class for the matching lesson. These notes will be checked in the class at the start of the lesson. If your notes are incomplete, you'll be required to watch the entire video in class on your own, complete the notes, and then you'll be responsible for making up the classwork that you missed while you were watching the video. Essentially, it puts it back on you, and anything that we did in class as far as homework or anything like that, you'll be responsible for doing on your own. And you'll also have late penalties and other things associated with that. It also eats up a large chunk of the time in class. Some of these videos will be up to a half-hour long and can be very, very daunting to do, especially if you're doing it on your own while the rest of your class is having fun doing dissections and other labs. You want to do this on your own, and you need to be responsible for it. The right-hand side of the notes will be completed in class. We usually do that very first thing right after we check our notes, and you do not need to do it before attending the class the day that we start. In addition, there will also be some quizzes on the instruction material at the start of some of these classes. The quizzes will happen on about half of the instructional videos, and you won't know which ones. You'll just come in one day and we'll have a quiz, and you will not be able to use your notes on them. You need to be prepared and take your instruction seriously. Don't watch the videos late at night when you're sleepy. Don't watch them while you're watching TV. Make sure that when you're watching them, you're doing what you need to do to actually learn what is being presented. Pause the videos. Go back and check out things that you think that you missed. Or even look other things up on your computer while you're watching it so that you can reinforce. If you do fail a quiz in class, you will have to do the same thing as if you did not complete your notes. You'll be required to watch the whole video in class, and you'll be required to retake the quiz until you get that basic material down, even if it takes multiple times. This means that you could miss out on entire labs if you fail to be responsible on your own. Most videos have extra links in their descriptions. You have to watch these videos, and they will be covered in the quizzes. Last couple of things here. Where can you find all of these things? Where can you find all this stuff? Pretty much everything we're going to be doing in this class will be done through Google Classroom. You'll get the code for the Google Classroom posted, and it'll be posted in our class. I'm not going to share it here today. You have to contact me and get it in class. Notes can be found on the videos in the Google Classrooms. There are hard copies in the class that I will be handing out to every single student, but ultimately you're responsible for getting these. If you don't have a set of notes the night that you're supposed to do your instructional video because you lost them, then you're responsible for printing those out and getting those to yourself. You can find all the PowerPoints that I use in the instructional videos in the Google Classroom. So to recap real quick, this is a method of learning where you have to take a lot of responsibility. But in total, the amount of time that you'll actually spend and the intensity of the work that you do at home should actually decrease. For the most part, you're just watching a video and taking notes. You don't have to be looking things up. You don't have to have your textbook. You don't have to be answering tons and tons of questions or have strict deadlines for things like papers or homework itself or projects. All of that stuff gets done in class, and it gets done with your teacher there to help you out. You are responsible, and you get to decide just how well you can do within this system. If you have any trouble or any problems, feel free to contact me. My email and everything else will also be in that Google Classroom. See you guys later.